consistency is not glamorous. Consistency is oftentimes boring, but consistency is what breeds success. You don't have to be talented. You don't have to be smart. You just have to be consistent.
Hey everybody, it's Kathy Byrnes here with Real Estate Riches, and I got a guest on for the second time, my buddy Lindsey Sandoval, which I'm really excited about. And today she's in California instead of North Carolina, enjoying that beautiful weather, probably.
Yes, absolutely. That is right, Kathy. I am here in Northern California today. I will tell you that it is beautiful compared to my normal, very sticky North Carolina, which I think is pretty sizzling right now.
Yeah, well, the humidity dropped to 67%, which is huge, and the temperature is only 92. Yay!
Oh wow, that's almost like a cool breeze.
It's like a cool breeze. Yikes. Well, anyway, the reason that I wanted to have you back on here is you and I have partnered in this thing with a guy called Jay Kinder, where he's basically doing the whole training, the whole program, everything on how to do leads, utilizing AI, which is a big piece, training everybody on the scripts, and all you have to pay for is the ads. And you are one of the rock stars that he keeps featuring because you're having such great success. But let's give everybody a little bit of background about who you are, what you're doing, and then we'll start talking about how you're incorporating this freebie that is amazing into your business and getting great success.
Yeah, of course, Kathy. So, you know, a little bit about me. I got my start in commercial real estate over a decade ago in Northern California, working for CBRE and Cushman and Wakefield. And from there, for personal reasons, relocated to North Carolina and the Carolinas, and still do commercial real estate, although I do focus most of my time and energy these days on the residential bit of my business, because I've had the opportunity through working with EXP to build a rev share. And I found about 3 or 4 years ago, after I had an accident, broke my ankle, that I became a loan officer just to further add value to that team. And so because of that, I have really hyper focused on not just building a residential business, but supporting other residential agents in doing so. And so I was introduced to Jay's funnel pilot and AI generated system just a little bit after Easter this year. So fairly new. And I think I might be the exception to the rule, but I had instant success within the first 30 days and even in the first 60 days with getting leads that were hyper focused around a listing that I had already had in the Lincolnton area. And so the one thing that I love about Jay's program is that I don't want to say it's set it and forget it, but there is definitely a component in which you know, if you, as a busy agent, sometimes you feel bogged down, right? You don't feel like you can get there and do all the calls all the time, or and you have an AI that's working in the background for you, right? The other big component of what I love about his program is that it's highly customizable, right? Like for me, it was around that Lincolnton, but we've done things around cash offers, we've done things around new construction that is really focused on my market, right? So like I'm in the Catawba Valley market right now, and there's tons of new construction. And I think you'd be a fool not to be, somehow driving new construction business for a variety of reasons if you're an agent out there, because there's all kinds of bonuses that are being offered and incentives to get into the products, and not just for you, the agent, but also for your clients, right? So we've had, I jokingly was on his call like 2 weeks ago, and I said, hey, I go, when I started this, I said it would be a great problem to have if I was getting so many leads that I was doing and converting both on the loan side, but on the real estate side, that I couldn't keep up with them, that I actually needed to go ahead and refer them out. And so I actually gave a testimonial about what that looked like. So I had ran a cash offer campaign. And initially, I don't even know how this guy came into my pipeline, because it was really focused on North Carolina. Everybody was North Carolina except for this one. And he happened to be up in Connecticut and had like 2 houses to sell in Connecticut. So it was such an awesome opportunity, because I was able to offer him a cash offer directly through our Express Offers campaign, but through EXP. but I was not able to break, I wasn't going to be able to list that home. So I needed to partner with another agent in EXP to list it. So once we offered and closed him, there would be a second piece to listing that property. And and so this is what I love about EXP, right? So it just doesn't stop there. So I have a tool in my toolbox box. I can offer you a express offer. But in addition to that, if I didn't know anybody in New Britain, Connecticut, I didn't know anybody there. So I was able to go into our referral platform, right? We have one of these most comprehensive, robust referral databases through all of us agents. And I found this amazing guy, and he is slaying it in New Britain. He is like doing so many transactions. And I sent it to him. It was funny because I was so busy that day that I didn't even have a chance to call him. I had read his profile. I had like looked at what he was doing on Zillow and Realtor to see his volume. And I was like, well, this guy's got it. I mean, clearly, look at all the business he's doing in New Britain. And he called me and he's like, hey, I just saw that you sent me an offer. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. Can you tell me about this guy? Because I read your note. So you gave him an offer already. I said, yeah. I go, he's more than warm. He's hot.
He's
like,
hot.
run with it. And he's like, this is so cool. And so it's just created like this snowball effect, right? It's like this momentum where, you know, I'm partnering with even more EXP agents than I was before, but also I'm also like bringing more agents into EXP and into the fold. And this is a phenomenal tool. I actually this morning was in a Facebook chat room and somebody had posted for the umpteenth billion time. And I know you've seen it because we all see the same things over and over, but they're like, who's the best paid at closing lead? And I was like, and they literally had like, you know, a template and they put up and they're like, oh, DM me for all the paid at closings and like high priority. And so I replied to it and I was like, you know, there's always these posts about paid at closings. I go, but wouldn't it be great if you could generate your own leads at low cost to no cost?
I think that's a
And it was
bot
so
too.
crazy because I was literally sitting there drinking my coffee and I had already set and forget it because I have a 3.5-year-old, right? So it's like squirrel. And so it was like, and then I got a text message and my mom goes, oh, what's that? And I go, somebody just signed up, man. And I just put that on Facebook. Somebody just signed up. But yeah, no, getting back to his funnel though, I've done all the things. I've paid for Zillow leads, I've paid for Realtor leads, I've paid for RedX and Mojo and Vulcan. And I would say that like any other agent, I've spent loads of money there. And I've seen some return, but I haven't seen the return on investment like I have with Jay. So if you're in a position where you're on the fence or you are struggling, I would encourage you. It's a very low investment in my opinion, in terms of a nominal, like a nominal value thing. Yeah, you're gonna go to Redx and you're gonna pay like, well, like I don't know, $700, right?
Yeah.
You could go to Zillow and pay thousands of dollars. Realtor, same thing. Like it stacks up over time, and there's no guarantee that you're gonna see conversion. So, and I wouldn't say that even Jay would say he would guarantee it, but I do think that it's truth when he says that you can get 1 to 2 that's a bit, clients
Close
that will
deals
close every year. That is true.
every
That is
month.
with consistency. Every month you'll get it. And it for what you're actually investing on it.
Which is an
I
ad
mean,
spend, not even paid to him. It's an ad spend to Meta.
yes. And that's the other thing that I told somebody. They're like, well, you're like, what happens when I leave? What happens when you leave? Dude, it lives on your Meta account, like what they're building for you. But why would you want to?
Right? Hell,
I mean, but it is good to know that like you're not sharing that lead with another
No,
person,
it's
right? So like
yours.
Zillow, RedX, Vulcan, all those, I mean, those are regurgitated leads and you're having to hit them
Yes.
multiple times because you know what? So are like 20 other agents or
Right.
more.
Right.
And it's just and it is that numbers game and it feels like being in a hamster wheel. And this doesn't feel like being in a hamster wheel.
Well, let's back up.
let's back up. So
Yeah.
how we heard about this at Jay Kinder, who is a national coach. He's been number 2 with Coldwell Banker for years in his company in the world. And he became the coach, partnered with Michael Reese, and they were a national coach and made tons of money doing all this stuff, but didn't have real freedom. And then he gets introduced to EXP, which he thought he would never go to. And he takes Michael and him, really probably Michael, created the funnel systems of these ad things. And this was a few years back. So this was before everybody else was doing it. So when you're first to the market, you get it like crazy. And they were getting it on steroids where they got these leads and they could convert them. And then they were bringing people to EXP because they would give that system to them and say, if you come sign with us and we sponsor you, you'll get this, you'll get the coaching. And so what Jay said to some of us who were with EXP, if you want to come and get the same thing where you're going to get it all for free, we'll train you, we'll get you the scripts and we'll really train you. It's not just like, here's a video. No, it's intense training that you get on how to do the follow-up. And then you got your own personal guy, gal who does all your branding for you, even does it on your computer, updates everything, all your bios on your social media so you sync. That was amazing. And then you're working with Braden, his son, and he does the whole AI. Let's say, who's your target market? Who do you want? And then he evaluates it to say, is that a good market for where you're at? Is that where we should really be targeting? Or do we need to tweak it? Like you were just saying, you tweak it for what's going on, to cash offers or to new construction, because that was the hotter piece, right? And AI validates it. AI creates the ad, and then you create your Meta account and you set it up for $3 a day ad spend. Was it $3 a day? Yeah, $3 a day.
Yeah, I think it's
$300 a month.
It's $300 a month. $10 a day.
$10 a day. I knew something was off. $10 a month. But if you're getting solid leads that are converting 1 to 2, that so pays for it. And so now you may be the exception. I don't know what makes you specialer about how you follow up or something, because the AI also follows up within the
does,
right? Because they use it in harmony with your CRM.
They do. And everything you said is absolutely true. And I think that's also one of the things that's impressed me the most about Jay's program, right? Is that he's created this team that triages each agent, and you do genuinely get one-on-one time with them, and it is customizable. So he's not over promising and under delivering on it. That is very true. Like it happens. And then in addition to that, there's so much other coaching that goes on, right? And support. So you're in there with other people who sometimes have same questions, other questions you're learning from others. And then on top of it, you have somebody who's jumping in and saying, hey, that doesn't really work. And I think we've all been in that case where sometimes as an agent, you feel, especially if you're a solo agent, right? You feel a little bit like a lone island, and you feel like you're the janitor, the CEO, the marketer, you're everything. And so on top of it, you're trying to, if you have time, or trying to quantify what it is that you're doing wrong, or how you can, somehow leverage yourself better, or remarket something. And it's a lot. And so you have somebody who's already an expert in it coming in and showing you guidance because they've already done it before. And they're like, yeah, those aren't really where your numbers should be. Like, that's not the right optimization. Right.
Right.
And so that's been critical. But in terms of like my follow-up, I mean, like, I do think it is what you put into it. And they do have a really robust coaching program about how conversion should work. And I will tell you, the last 2 weeks, I have not been doing very well in doing my follow-up calls. And so I'm going to just say, I get this reminder on my cell phone, hey, Lindsey, this is the funnel pilot team. It looks like you haven't made any calls recently. You might want to do that. And I'm like, I'm on vacation, man. Leave me alone. But you know what I'm saying? So like, it's the first time I've actually...
It's proactive to make you be successful.
Yeah, well, I want to say that that's actually kind of something I didn't know that recently just happened in the last 2 weeks, because I am usually pretty consistent. But like, I've had a lot going on. I implemented some new things in my business, and then I decided to take a vacation because every girl needs a vacation, the family. And I was just like, well, what is that? But I will say, is somebody who maybe doesn't have that consistency, or you did and somehow you've fallen off the wagon, or you're a new agent, like there's a tool there and reminders to keep you on track,
Yeah.
right? It's just like anything else. I mean, I do have an app. It doesn't talk to me like this app does. So if that's saying anything to you, because there's an exercise app that I have on my phone that's supposed to be helping me stick to my exercise, but it doesn't quite yell at me like those text messages do. Because I feel like sometimes they're like, "Hey, get with the program. What are you
Yeah.
doing?"
It's pretty direct. I'm like,
It
well,
is.
okay, all right.
But I mean, like, I don't know about you, but that's something sometimes what I need because
Yeah.
you can be easily distracted, and that's with your business, right? You got a buyer that you got working over here, maybe you got two buyers on it, you got a listing. I mean, this is real thing. I literally had a listing go live on Friday. I have another one yesterday. I had to jump on a call. I wasn't planning on it, but they want that to go live this Friday. And and then I've got a buyer that went under contract also on Friday. This is all happening like live time, right? So I have a buyer that's under contract. I'm doing their loan on it. I've got two others that I have loans for that I'm working on. And I had a closing on Tuesday.
Holy cow.
That was yesterday. But I'm here in California.
You get it done. You get it done.
So you just get it done. But so him having his system, because it's an AI driven system, helps get some of that off my plate.
Right.
So that I still have a system in place. I just have another system to optimize what I'm already doing, which is what I think is what AI technology is really designed for, right? It's to help optimize how
Your
much you can
time.
do and your time and getting some of that back. And so there
Yeah.
you go.
No, I love that. So what Jay's doing is, and how he can even afford to do this, he's got a team that he's had before
Mhm.
that created this kind of process when they were doing that with their leads for their own organization. And so he fired those people up again and said, let's incorporate the AI into it and let's do this for agent attraction. So, and the way that's allowed is what they call co-sponsorship here. And so Jay would be the co-sponsor, and because EXP is about sponsorship, and you're going to see that with other companies, and that's where you can build your residual income. So for like someone like myself, 76, you want some residual income coming in that you don't get with your mortgages and your real estate deals. That's just a one and done, and it's on to the next one, right? Well, when you do this, where you're bringing someone in and now you give them a system like Jay just created, and all that agent has to do is spend the $300 a month to get and follow up and to get that going. And they're real leads. They're not garbage leads. You get 1 to 2 deals a month. If you're a brand new agent, think about it. You get incredible coaching, incredible, all the tools. They even send me daily scripts to create videos with.
Mhm.
And I'm having my AI twin do them. Anyway, that's another story. But the point being is he has an army that he spends over $100,000 a month on that army to give it away, because he gets paid residual income when those agents are closing business. And so do we as the sponsor. We are co-sponsors. And that was genius, just genius. Don't you think?
It is. No, it is. And I honestly think that that's what makes Jay's program even more appealing, right?
Yeah.
Is that he's literally pouring into the people that he's supporting. It is truly a co-sponsoring model. It is it's what EXP is all about. We're an agent-centric company. I'm not going to bring up any other brokerage because I'm not about that life, but there was a brokerage that I happened to see a video on last week from a competing brokerage, and they have now given their agents a credit card that they're paying, and they can earn points on that credit card and then use their points on their credit card to buy down their cap. And I was like, what? I was like, you're already paying your brokerage. You're going to pay them more. It looks like an incentive, but it's not an incentive because they're making you more every time you use the credit card they just paid you your commission on. Like, I'm like, there's nothing agent centric about that.
No.
And
No.
so that's what I say. I love Jay's program, and it's already built to get around what EXP is all about, and it's about pouring into the others. So when he's asking you, "Hey, come join EXP," I'm not interested in actually charging you more for it. He means it, because to be real honest, he could charge thousands of dollars for his programs. There is
Yeah.
tons of agents that I know who have amazing coaching programs at EXP who are paying, like, I have other agents who are with other firms. I've actually said this to him. I said, I don't understand why you're with X, but you pay for so and so's coaching program that's $8,000. Why
Yeah.
don't you just join her team?
Yeah.
Right.
And so it's mind blowing. But it is. He's pouring into you because he does that. The residual. It's a mutually beneficial
Yeah.
deal that he's got, and it is, like I said, it is very, in terms of entry level into a market. As somebody who spent thousands of dollars over her career, this is a very nominal amount. I can tell you that the very first like advertisement I ever did, I spent $600 in canvassing my neighborhood, specifically where I lived in Charlotte in the residential. It was the first time I did it. There was nothing impressive about the thing that I sent out. And over that course of that, we'll just call it 3 years that I was there, I made over $30,000 from that $600
Mm.
investment. Okay. And that's a pretty good return on it. But I'll
Right.
tell you right now, aside from what Jay's offering, there's nobody else on the market that offers
Nothing like it.
anything remotely close.
Nothing close. You can go to Mike Ferry and learn how to be dialing for dollars,
Mhm.
but you're paying for those list of leads
Yeah.
there that you're calling and going through like crazy. This is
Yeah.
so much different. And I'm not knocking Mike Ferry because he's taught a lot of agents how to make a lot of money doing a particular system. This is a different system, and it's a lot easier for you, and you get trained without having to pay the coach. That's what's amazing.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
they do and every day it's from, what is it, 3 to 4? It's got a open office where you can, and all that whole arsenal of people are there, and you go into different rooms within the Zoom and you talk to your person. I need this, I need that. They'll even go into your computer and fix things because they're taking a look at it. And they don't wait 30 days to analyze your results. They're
No.
monitoring that to see how it's working. So they're fixing it for you faster. They're so on purpose for you. That's what this is all about.
So much. And to back off that, like I've gotten emails from Jay's team unknowingly, like Miranda and co, and they're like, "Hey, we noticed this wasn't working in your meta, but we're working to fix it." And I'm like, I didn't even know it wasn't working.
Yeah.
But
Like,
that's what I love.
seemed like it was working to me, but if you think it's got to be better, sure.
Yeah.
Well, I asked him, I was with him in Canada at an AI event that Carrie Sauvé was putting on. Wow, that was awesome. So he was there talking about how he's incorporating AI into this whole process. And talking to other agents about, you should check this out, which was smart. But he told me, or he told the stage, that he's brought on over 900 agents to his organization because of this process. So he's brought on 900 agents, of which 900 partners like you or me also are benefiting from that. Not all 900. We get whoever we bring on and they bring on. But that's the point. He's opened up the door with a tool that's so friggin' impressive that you and I don't have to pay for. And we just do the ad spend ourselves, and we bring on an agent that is either brand new. Like, there's so many starting second careers and things like that, third careers, who say, I don't know where to go and do this stuff. Show me what to do. And then they just train you. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, for free.
It is. No, absolutely. The training and the resources that are offered in this program, and I've been doing this for a long time, over a decade. I said that, right? And so, like, I've been to other firms, to other coaching programs. I've paid for external coaching. I've taken all kinds of classes. I told you I'm a loan officer as well, so I take all kinds of continuing ed. And the support that I see with Jay Kinder's program and his team, and the co-sponsoring for both the person who is sponsoring them and the person who's coming on into his organization, is next to none. I haven't seen anything like it. And when you're surrounded by those individuals who have the capacity to build something like that and train, so it spreads like wildfire. And so when you're around other people who are quote unquote hate to like mimic Grant Cardone or 10xing their business, the truth is that's what you're doing, and you're able to get your time back, right?
Yeah.
Like, why are we doing this? I mean, it always boils down to like, why are you doing it? Like, I'm doing this because I have a daughter that I love and I want to spend time with. I became a real estate agent so that I could go and I could go to all of the soccer games or go to the rehearsal, and I don't have to ask my boss or whatever. I want to be there for all those moments. But there's even some times where I've been taken away on a weekend and I have missed a swim match, and I don't want to do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a vehicle to leverage to get out of that situation, right? Which is just to be able to enjoy life.
Yeah.
And not work harder, work smarter.
Yeah. Well, and for me, there's so many agents, like we introduce this to agents with a webinar that Jay puts on once a week so that he can explain it. His whole team says their process. And, a lot of agents are saying, well, I don't really want to change brokerages. And he goes, well, you don't have to. But you can't have this if you don't. And they'll say, well, I like my brokerage. Well, show it with your broker or something and see if they want to do it, because the industry's been garbage. I mean, as far as what people are making and struggling to just make ends meet, houses aren't moving the way they used to, especially in different price points in different areas. So agents are struggling. It's been a rough 3 years. And
Yes.
here's the opportunity to flip it. Here's the opportunity to flip it. You do change. Agents change companies all the time. I'm on my 5th, but I'm never moving from EXP, because in those years with major players that I was with, I just never got anything like this. But the truth is, AI is really taking it to another level where you can get it. And EXP took the industry to another level. I mean, Glenn Stanford's vision of how to do it and how it keeps evolving with that whole mindset of agent centric, the one company, global, the stock, the rev share, all the tools like express offers, just being one of the little things that you can dive into and take advantage of. You name anything in this industry, you can excel at it within EXP because of what they got to offer.
100%. And that's part of the reason why I won't leave. I mean, people have asked me. I've been with a bunch of other firms, and sometimes they say that being comfortable breeds complacency. I wouldn't necessarily say that that's true of EXP. The tools and the tools that they continue to invest in have only made my business better. I have not come to a company that hasn't, right? So, like, I mean, we talked about crash offers, but there's revenues, right? You've got, if you want to do relo, you can get relo leads. If you want repos, or excuse me, REOs for Banco part, which is kind of like a repossess your house. Anyway, you can do that. Somebody asked me, like, oh, do you do that? I'm like, once upon a time I did. I go, but if you've ever been to a bank-owned property, it'd be a little dicey. I got a 3.5-year-old. I'm not really to take it. But there is an agent out there that does it, and we have agents that do. And if that's your cup of tea and that's where you're at, by golly, we got it.
Yeah.
We've got a military.
All the probates, the military.
It goes on. Yeah. And in terms of that, we even have real estate adjacent services that you can earn money on. I mean, like, there is so many ways and streams of income that you can do to support your business that doesn't include you having to do 100 transactions a year. Now, that being the case, if you want to do 100 transactions solo agent, by all means. I mean, EXP is there to reward those who do volume all day long. We've got tons of icons, right? But you don't have to. It's an avenue for you to retire, but also have a work-life balance. Because everybody who I know who's in this industry, and what is it? They just released, it was like 84% of realtors didn't do a transaction this year or something like that, the stat, which means 12%. So the other 12% are literally working their rears and tails off to do this, or at least the majority of them. The smart ones aren't.
Right.
The smart ones are doing a few, and they're enjoying life because they've created leverage through different vehicles and income streams, which can be afforded at some cloud-based firms, but is the best. at EXP. And I'm not just trying to plug it, but it's the truth.
We are fans. Well,
It's
and I liked the different companies I was with, but I was always searching for better. And
Yeah.
I landed on EXP without even looking at it because I was in a transitionary point in my life and I just joined a team that was a mega team and they decided 2 weeks later to go to EXP and I'm like, whatever, I'll just sign the docs. You guys checked it out. And the first thing that I saw was the collaboration, which I had never witnessed at any other firm. And for me, that was number one seller. Then I saw the stock, which was a penny stock at the time. And then I saw the rev share, which reminded me of network marketing that I did for years and failed miserably at. And I thought, oh my God, we're all selling real estate and they already collaborate here and they got stock and oh my gosh, yes, I'll tell people about this. And I did. And I got my very first rev share check for $48. And I go, they're paying me? They're paying me? I love them. I've been hooked.
It's so true though. It's so true though. I remember my first rev share check and then every subsequent check that's come in too, right? Like you can start and you can build just a little.
Yes.
You don't have to abandon, your listing to like,
Right.
do rev share if that's what you want. I mean, I even talk to most agents. I'm like, look, if this is your jam and you're a new agent and you want to sell
Yeah.
houses, by all means, like this is the vehicle for you to go. Just know that doesn't have to be your lifelong goal, right? Like
Right.
I have investments. I'm an investor. I think for a long time, real estate agents who got into this business, that was their vehicle to retire. And I would
Yep.
say that even if you talk to some of them now, it is. I ran into an agent who has 300 units that they rent. And I'll tell you, as somebody who had a property management company, it is not for all, and it's not for the faint of heart. And it's definitely different if you're managing your own versus managing something else. But, I'm not having to go out and fix a toilet. I'm not having to scramble to find somebody to fix a toilet or a gutter or a tree that fell or anything like that. And I will say that having done all that, it's not my favorite business
Mhm.
to be in. It is definitely, there is something to be said about having that many assets and being in a position where you can sell them off. But that is not the end all be all. You don't
Yeah.
have to build a real estate portfolio as a real estate agent in order to retire.
That's right. That's right. My mom
You
had it.
don't.
She had 5 homes and her vision was I'll give one to each kid. And I go, but mom, they're all valued at different values. Who gets the better one? Immediately envy of the whoever was getting that. But she ended up, and it was a nightmare as she aged because she
Hmm.
couldn't take care of them. So now the kids that live near her are doing the repairs and doing all the stuff, moving the tenants out and getting the ads. And I'm like, oh my gosh, just hire a firm, pay.
Yeah.
And she
Yeah.
wouldn't do it. And then I had
Mhm.
2. When I brought her here, she had 2 homes still left that I had to deal with in another state and figure out how to sell them. And they had tenants in them and I had to wait. Oh, it was a nightmare. So I don't ever want that.
It is. It can be really painful for all parties involved, right?
Mhm.
Whether you're the child who's inherited it, or you're having to deal with the tenant, or you're the tenant who maybe that tenant's lived there for 20 years. I was on a call just before this because I do a rent to own program through our company. And, I spend some time, advocating for renters because renters, I'm like, you may be somebody where your rent increases year over year, right? Like you need that stability of a mortgage payment. Mortgage payment's going to bring you that. It's not going to increase. It's going to decrease
Right.
over time, right? But I talked to a woman, she had been in the house that she was currently in while on the call for 26 years and was in the process of trying to buy it from the seller.
Wow.
And it was crazy to me because she said that the seller was not her original landlord, that the landlord had actually had some financial troubles, which they never disclosed to her. And 2 years ago, it went into a bank owned, and the gentleman that currently owns it bought it for $220 and now wanted to sell her the house for $375,000. And he hadn't done one repair but increased her rent from $1,200 to $2,400. It is a story though, but it's not an uncommon story, right? Like if you're in this grind day after day, you come across so many stories that are like that, right? Like I know that there's a whole bunch of like Vanna Whiters and luxury property, and I myself used to Vanna White, floor plates in commercial buildings in San Francisco. Not as glamorous as it sounds, but it is what it is. But the mass majority of people are just regular people who go to a 9-to-5 job, who need stability. Their kids go to school,
Yeah.
and they're just trying to get by, and they want a little something, right? Even if
Yeah.
it's the only thing that they have to leave for their kid is their family house. But the truth of the matter is that it doesn't matter what side of it that you're on. Like it's hard when you're losing an asset or having to deal with an asset, because houses age, roofs need to be repaired, plumbing needs to be
Yep.
replaced, and you have to decide whether you're on that side of the equation for the long haul.
Right. Right. Well, I just love having you on here to kind of go over this because of your success story, and you're not alone. Are there agents that maybe aren't succeeding at it? Yeah, but I don't think they're answering their texts where they're doing the calls and they're blowing the deal and they're looking for an excuse to fail. But for people who want this is designed for success on every aspect, wouldn't you say?
I would, and I will just say this too, because this is so top of mind. I was sent a text of somebody who was doing a speech on whatever, and it resonated with me. And I will say that it wouldn't have resonated with me 20 years ago. But he said, "Consistency is not glamorous. Consistency is oftentimes boring, but consistency is what breeds success. You don't have to be talented. You don't have to be smart. You just have to be consistent."
God, I
That's
love
all.
That's me. I'm like a junkyard dog going after it. Well, this has been
You know?
great, Lindsey. I love that. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you. It was great to be on.
Yeah.
Well, that's another wrap up for Real Estate Riches. And I just loved having Lindsey on here today. And if you liked it, please subscribe and share it with your friends. And then call us, either one of us. Lindsey's information is going to be right here, so you can reach out to her and call either one of us and see if you want to jump in on this Jay Kinder deal. Thanks.